Hey, this is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. So today, it's going to be a little bit different type of video. We're going to talk about tires, but I have to drive about 6 hours, so I figure, hey, let's talk about it in the car. Sorry about the audio quality. I brought my mic, but I forgot the adapter. So, unfortunately, it's not going to really do us any good. How do you know you run a lot? You bring your own air freshener for the rental car. Today what I wanted to talk about was making the switch from run flats to just a standard tire. When I first bought my car, I was very surprised that there wasn't even a spot for a spare tire. And I always said, I was like, oh, if there's no spare tire, I'm definitely not going to run traditional tires. However, I accidentally bought some standard tires, and I don't think I could ever go back to run flats. So my car came with the standard 17-inch wheels that had run flats on them, and they rode pretty good, especially on the stock suspension. Then I went out and I bought some 19-inch M3 replica, the CSL wheels, which I had those for a little while. Much lower profile tire. I don't remember the exact tire sizes on either of those tires. And it rode a little bit more rough. But then my mistake was I lowered my car, and not that it was really a mistake. That I have an X-Drive, and they say, you know, you lose a lot of ride quality in the X-Drive if you just put springs on with the stock suspension, which is exactly what I did. The ride quality with the 19-inch wheels and the car lowered was just ridiculous. It was horrible. I've never ridden in a car that rode so bad in my life. I felt like I was bottoming out. I felt like I felt like I didn't have tires. It was such a violent shake through the car whenever I would hit a small bump. And so what I did is I put the stock 17-inch wheels on, and then it became a lot better. So the 19s, the problem with the 19s were that the ride was so rough that there was no way that I could put them back on. So with the 19-inch wheels, the ride quality was so bad that I had to swap them out for my 17s. And I was contemplating, do I either keep the 17 stock wheels on with the lowered suspension, or should I get the 19s back on with the stock suspension? So that was kind of my limbo. So I ended up leaving the 17s on and selling the 19s. So what I did is I bought the VMR wheels, the matte black ones, on Craigslist. I got a really good deal on them, and I was under the assumption that they had the run flats on them. That's the only reason I bought them. So I bought the wheels, I put them on, and they're really cool. I like them. They're 9.5 inches wide, so they're really aggressive. A little more aggressive than I would have liked, but I've grown to love them. So these tires were actually they're thinner. I think they're 35 millimeters instead of, I think the stock 17-inch wheels were maybe 55 or so. So I put the wheels on. I was expecting an awful ride, and I was very pleasantly surprised at how well the car rode and handled. Just driving normally, the car is just super smooth, even with the same suspension setup. So again, it's just the H&R springs on the stock suspension, and it drove like an entirely different car. The one thing for me that really held me back of why I didn't do it on purpose was not having the ability to have a spare. Now, I'm pretty handy when it comes to cars, so if I get a flat, I keep a puncture kit in the car so I can plug it. Even if it's a run flat, I'd probably still plug it anyway, just to get off the side of the road. So once I started thinking about it more, yeah, I really like having the security with the run flat. So if you get a flat, you can still run on it. We did some test videos on what happens if you get that on that flat. So I felt really comfortable with the run flats, and to be honest, I never thought that I would stray away from there. But once you go to the ride quality, it's night and day. It's unbelievable how good the car rides with the traditional tires on it over the run flats. So one of the biggest things alone is the cost. So my car is the X-Drive. So with the X-Drive, you want to have the tread pretty similar all the way around the car because of the all-wheel drive system. So that means if you do get a flat, and maybe you're able to drive on the run flat all the way to the repair shop, or maybe you have to get it towed or whatever, you still want to have the rest of your tread matching that new tire. So that being said, you're probably going to have to buy more than one tire. So if that's the case, are tire shops stocking that size, especially with the sizes that I'm running? But right now the tires that I have are 18s by 9.5. That's a pretty good sized tire, and it's not a common run flat size. My other rims were 19, I think, by 8. And again, it's not that it's impossible to find, but it's just a little bit more difficult to find. So the traditional tires are easily accessible and they're cheaper. So when it comes down to that, and the performance is a lot better, the ride quality is better, I'm just having a really hard time justifying going back to the run flats. If you're going back and forth on what tires to get, hopefully this has kind of helped you a little bit understand why people go with the run flats and why people go with the traditional tires. I mean, really, the only benefit that I can see of the run flat is if you get a flat. Other than that, you know, the cost is higher, the ride quality is worse. They can be harder to find depending on what size tire you have. So I just can't see the benefit of continuing with the run flat tires. Again, just to wrap it up, for me, I think that I'm going to stick with the traditional tires. I just think that they're cheaper, they ride better, they're easier to find. There's just a lot of benefits to them. So it'd be really hard for me to actually go back to a run flat. Again, this is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, we'd love for you to be a subscriber to stay up to date on the latest modifications, retrofits, and performance upgrades for your BMW. And also, we started to do some more product reviews, so hopefully we can do some more of those for you and show you maybe some good products, some bad products, and kind of help you see what's available on the market today. So again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.